Hello everyone, LegenVD here, and welcome to a Cans of Tarkir sealed deck building exercise. I've got 6 packs of Cans of Tarkir, which I will open, and then we'll try to build a sealed deck. So let's get started with our first pack. If I can remember how to open them. There we go. Alright, first up we have a Bloodfire Expert. I'll sort all the cards by color in the meantime. Segu Archer, Rite of the Serpent, Efreet Weapon Master, Barrage of Boulders, Savage Punch, a classic, Mardu Horde Chief, Jeskai Wind Scout, Smite the Monstrous, Bloodfell Caves, Jeskai Elder as our uncommon, Heartpiercer Bow, Ride Down, and a rare Utter End. That's a nice removal spell. And then we got an island and a morph token. Alright, let's go for number 2. Right now all colors look nicely represented. We would like to play our Utter End, of course. Alright, we have a Keru Dreadmaw, Temur Banner, Tusked Colossodon, Summit Prowler, Kintree Warden, Debilitating Injury, Thornwood Falls, Anok Bondkin, Force Away, another Mardu Horde Chief, Take Up Arms, War Name Aspirant as our second uncommon, Winterflame, and our rare is a Crackling Doom. So another nice removal spell in black and white, and a Swamp and a Snake token. Alright, let's open our third pack, where we have an Embodiment of Spring, another Savage Punch, Sultai Scavenger, a very nice Delve card, Tormenting Voice, Singing Bellstrike, Woolly Loxodon, Tranquil Cove, Jeskai Student, Mardu Skullhunter, Feet of Resistance, Chief of the Edge, Seeker of the Way, Burn Away, and our rare is a Rattleclaw Mystic. Not bad. Okay. Let's go to our fourth pack. Where we open Mardu Warshrieker, Awaken the Bear, Shambling Attendants, Alpine Grizzly, Valley Dasher, Highland Game, Singing Bellstrike, Erase, Jungle Hollow, Siegecraft, Another Take-Up Arms at uncommon. Blinding Spray. A Tomb of the Spirit Dragon. And our rare is a Flying Crane Technique. A very good limited card, for sure. And nothing there. Let's go to the 5th pack. Where we get a Disowned Ancestor, Act of Treason, Mardu Skullhunter, another Savage Punch, that's the 3rd one, Shatter, Shambling Attendants, Jeskai Wind Scout, Feet of Resistance, Singing Bellstrike, Swiftwater Cliffs, Horde Ambusher, Witness of the Ages, another Chief of the Edge, and our rare is a Meandering Tower Shell. Alright, on to the final pack, where we open a Mardu Banner, Rite of the Serpent, Shatter, Abzan Banner, or Abzan, a Snowhorn Rider, Bring Low, Disdainful Stroke, Sage Eye Harrier, another Jungle Hollow, Weave Fate, Dragon Grip, Mardu Rough Rider, Sandstab Citadel at uncommon, and a Thousand Winds as our rare. Alright, not bad, another Morph token. So now that we opened all our packs, it's time to take a look at each color and get the playables and unplayables separated. So here in white, let's go quickly. Morphs are usually always playable. Feet of Resistance is nice, Take-Up Arms is good. Siegecraft I will put in the unplayable pile. Same with Erase. Seeker of the Way is a solid 2-drop. Jeskai Student is playable in the Prowess deck, but otherwise I would avoid it. Take-Up Arms is very good if you have some sort of token deck going, but otherwise it's still playable. Mardu Horde Chief is also good. Aniok Bondkin is also very good. Smite the Monstrous is also decent, and Mardu Horde Chief gets in there. So let's get these out of the way for the moment and keep our playables. Let's go to green. Meandering Tower Shell is playable. Savage Punch is. Highland Game is also good. Alpine Grizzly is good. Awaken the Bear is good. Rattleclaw Mystic good. Woolly Loxodon very good. Savage Punch. Kintry Warden. It's a morph, so it's usually playable, but it's not the best morph out there, but I'm still gonna put it in the playable pile. Tusked Colossodon, on the other hand, I would avoid playing. You have better cards to cast. Most morphs will replace him. Another Savage Punch and Segu Archer. So green looks very playable. Let's go over to red, where Dragon Grip is playable. Bring Low is also a good removal spell. Shatter is more sideboard card. Horde Ambusher is very decent. Act of Treason is good in the right deck. It's gotta be very aggressive, but usually I would try to avoid it. Valley Dasher only in the super aggressive decks I would play him. Mardu War Shrieker is decent. Burn Away is a very good removal spell. Tormenting Voice is a nice card advantage, or rather card quality card for red. Warname Aspirant is a very nice 2-drop. Summit Prowler is very good at triggering Ferocious and is just a solid 4-drop. The double red in the casting cost can be a problem. Barrage of Boulders is more a sideboard card, and Bloodfire Expert I would try to avoid playing just because of the low toughness and the fact that he basically trades with all morphs. Alright, so red looks pretty decent, but it's not as deep as our previous two colors. So let's go over to black, where Rite of the Serpent is a good removal spell. It's expensive, but it gets rid of everything. Shambling Attendants is a good Delve card, but you don't want to have more than 3, I would say, Delve cards in one deck, unless you're the dedicated Delve deck. Mardu Skullhunter is a fine 2-drop, and Disowned Ancestor is a very good 1-drop. Shambling Attendants number 2 I will allow for the moment. Mardu Skullhunter, here's our 3rd Delve card. Sultai Scavenger is a bit better than our previous Delve card. Then Debilitating Injury is very nice, kills all morphs and does a good job at killing other creatures as well. Kerud Dreadmaw I would avoid playing, and a 2nd Rite of the Serpent gets in. So black also looks very deep, and that's a common theme in this new set. You have a lot of playable cards, so it's pretty tricky to build the best deck out of a sealed pool. Let's move on to blue, where 1000 Winds is very good. We Fate is playable, but I wouldn't overload on these types of cards. Disdainful Stroke, I would always main deck the 1st copy. Singing Bell Strike is also a very good removal spell for blue. Jeskai Wind Scout is just a Windrake with a small upside. Blinding Spray can be good, but I would avoid main decking it. Singing Bell Strike gets in there. A 3rd one, why not? Embodiment of Spring you only really want if your 2 main colors are green and blue. In that deck he can be decent if you're splashing a 3rd or 4th color, but usually he won't end up in a deck just because he is a very niche card. Force Away is a nice bounce spell. Jeskai Elder can get in there in the Prowess deck, but otherwise is pretty disappointing. Jeskai Wind Scout, a 2nd one. So yet again, blue looks good. Then let's take a look at our artifacts, where we are looking at the fixing. We have an Abzan banner, a Mardu banner, a Timur banner, a Witness of the Ages, which is maybe one of the less exciting morph cards, but with the colorless casting cost you can play him in any deck. And then Heartpiercer Bow, which is more of a sideboard card, but even then it's not very exciting. So let's keep those in mind. Then let's move over to our multicolor cards, where we have a Mardu Rough Rider, which is certainly good, Snowhorn Rider, which is certainly good, Chief of the Edge, if you have a warrior deck, is very good, and still, if black and white are your main colors, a 3/2 for 2 mana is not bad. Flying Crane Technique is also very good in the right deck. Another Chief of the Edge, Crackling Doom, Winter Flame, Outer End, Ride Down, and a Efreet Weapon Master. So as you can see, a lot of very powerful multicolor cards. So if I take a look at these, black, white seem like our main colors, and then maybe also red to splash for Crackling Doom, and maybe get some other cards in there like Mardu Rough Rider. So black and white look like colors I want to play. But let's take a look at maybe the most important card in this new format, which is your mana fixing. So we have a Sandstep Citadel, which is an Abzan colored land, a Jungle Hollow, a Swiftwater Cliffs, a Tomb of the Spirit Dragon, which we probably won't end up playing, another Jungle Hollow, Tranquil Cove, a Thornwood Falls, and another Bloodfell Caves. So if you look at our lands over here, we see we have a lot of black and green, some black and red. So if we were to play, let's say, a black, white, and a red deck, we would only really have Bloodfell Caves as fixing and Sandstep Citadel. So if we want to play those 3 colors, our fixing isn't great. We also have a Mardu banner. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is try and build a black-white, maybe splash red deck and see how that looks like. And I'll report to you once I'm finished. Hello everyone, welcome back. So I built the Mardu version of the sealed pool, which does look pretty nice. We are mainly black and white, and then we're basically splashing for Mardu Rough Rider, a Ride Down, a Burn Away, and a Crackling Doom. And as you can see, the curve looks pretty interesting. I put the cards where you expect them to cast, so we have our morphs in the 3-drop slot, and our 2 Delve cards a bit more to the left than usual. And we also have a very nice warrior theme going on. We have 2 Chief of the Edge, and we also have 2 Take Up Arms, which makes warrior tokens. So that's a nice addition. Also, Mardu Horde Chief makes a warrior token and is a warrior himself. Or Mardu Skull Hunters are warriors. Or Seeker of the Way is also a warrior, and our Disowned Ancestor is also a warrior. So a lot of warriors. So I think if you get a Chief of the Edge on the battlefield together with one of these token generators, it's going to be pretty easy to win the game from there. Also, the removal in this deck looks very nice. We have early removal in Debilitating Injury and Ride Down. We also have Crackling Doom for later on, and Utterand, as well as Smite the Monstrous and Burn Away. So as you can see, this deck looks pretty solid, and I would be pretty happy to open this pool and be able to play this deck. But just to cover all our bases, I'm gonna try and build a deck with different colors and see how that looks. So we'll see in a bit. Alright, so this is how the blue, red and white deck would look like, but there's a few problems with this deck, and that's mainly that we don't really have enough creatures to really abuse the Flying Crane technique, and we are basically playing 3 colors without having enough fixing. We only have these 2 lands for fixing really, and if you look at the colors, we have white, red and blue cards that we want to play early. So that's sort of a problem, and if you try to remove one of those colors, you don't have enough playables. So Well, it could work. I don't think I'm really a fan of this prowess type deck, even though we do have a few nice prowess cards and a few nice red and blue instants and sorceries. So I gave it a try, but I don't think the seal pool really supports this type of deck. So maybe if we get green in there, there's a playable deck somewhere. So let's take a look at a third option. Alright, welcome back. So here I've built the Teamer version of the deck, which does look alright. We have a few evasive creatures in the 3-drop slot, a lot of morphs as you can see, and among the morphs a very powerful 1000 Winds. And then we're basically blue-green, splashing red for Burn Away, Snowhorn Rider and Winterflame. We have some powerful rares to play with, like Meandering Tower Shell and 1000 Winds, as well as Rattleclaw Mystic to fix our mana. And we have a decent amount of removal in Savage Punch and Singing Bellstrike, as well as a Force Away as a bounce spell, and Disdainful Stroke as a nice counter spell. And then some more removal for the late game in Burn Away, and Winterflame can also do a nice job. And in this deck I kind of like playing Teamer Banner. Our curve is a little higher than in the previous decks, and we would like to unmorph most of these cards. And we can also play Embodiment of Spring, since we are blue and green as our main colors and just splashing red. So this deck looks alright, but at the end of the day I think the black, white and red deck was a little more powerful. It had more removal, more synergies with the warriors. But I think that's gonna do it for this sealed deck exercise. I wanna thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a nice day.